Walgreens shares a touch higher on the day after the company reported earnings, with profit and sales topping estimates in the quarter gone. However, the company narrowed its fiscal 2024 guidance and cited a challenging retail environment. Delighted to say that joining us now is Walgreens Boots Alliance CEO Tim Wentworth. Let's get right to that consumer point. You outlined a picture where there is some hesitance from the consumer, retail spending perhaps not as strong, and that was based principally at the core of your outlook. What is happening?
Well, Ed, I think what you see is that the consumer continues to behave in ways that show that they're challenged. They are seeking value. They are willing to bulk purchase and do other things. So when you look across the retail spectrum, you'll see some folks doing better than others if they're in the super high value part of the ecosystem. In our case, obviously, we count on folks to come in and to not only visit our pharmacies, but also come in, buy impulse items, get last-minute items, get seasonal items. And a lot of those things are purchases that you've got to get the value equation right on, or else they feel discretionary to folks. And so we have been re-engineering our experience, our SKUs and our product line, and our pricing strategy and promotion strategy to bring back those that we've lost and to keep the ones that we've got. And what you see is we are anticipating the second half. That is not going to meaningfully dissipate, although I also don't think it's going to get worse. I think we have got ourselves positioned to now build from the second half of this year back to a place where consumers will begin again to prefer Walgreens more often than they do today.
Tim, does that consumer behavior extend to both your store footprint and your digital offerings, or are you seeing any discrepancy in those two marketplaces?
No, it's interesting. Our digital offerings have really proven to be not only robust, but important parts of holding up our underlying value, both value to our shareholders, but also value to the consumer. So we see meaningful increases of same-day delivery. 80% of our deliveries are actually done within an hour, not a day, not 2 hours, 80% within a day, slightly over 80%. And so we have seen the investments in both the underlying technology to enable the consumer to interface with us that way, and then the underlying ecosystem to get it reliably to them has meaningfully brought consumers back into the fold.
Tim, a big part of that technology is built and executed on by DoorDash. I know that you are only a little period into your tenure as CEO at Walgreens, but what have you made of DoorDash and the relationship there?
Yeah, we are really pleased. I will confess to you, coming in, I wasn't certain how to sort of think about that. Obviously, we were not in a position to build a distribution system, store door, all the way to people's houses with our own vehicles and so forth. It's not necessary. DoorDash has been a great partner. They deliver, they communicate phenomenally. If you haven't actually used the experience, I recommend everyone give it a try. The communications from both Walgreens and from DoorDash throughout the journey of the product that you've ordered is phenomenal. And so they have been great. I am super happy with the results that we're getting with them.
Tim, I scanned through the transcript of your earnings call a few times, and I was looking for one thing: artificial intelligence. I saw the word automation. How big was the temptation to try and tell a Walgreens AI story? And frankly, that has been the pressure of this earnings season for CEOs across all sectors.
So Ed, if you know me at all, you'll know that I won't use buzzwords if I can possibly avoid it, and I won't say things that don't have deep meaning. And as it relates to AI, there are some very, very interesting things we are doing in our business, both within our own four walls and working with others, that we are super excited about in terms of everything from load balancing to inventory management, ultimately to, I think, some of the work that people are doing in stores. So there's a fairly wide landscape of things that we are using AI as a tool for, but it's a tool, and it needs use cases that and by the way, as you know, we've got years of machine learning applicability to certain things, right? But as we look at predicting consumer behavior, as we look at meeting consumers where they want to be before they even know that we're going to be there, those sorts of things. And again, in terms of a very complex operating model where we can actually improve service, improve working capital, integrate our stores with our micro-fulfillment centers, we think there's some really interesting things that we can do there. I just spoke with Alex Karp this week from Palantir, who clearly is doing some interesting things there. And that's one of a number of folks that we're working with to actually, again, really get at meaningful things that we can do in the business leveraging AI.
Please keep us posted on Bloomberg Technology about the relationship with Palantir in the future. You know, I recently spoke with Dr. Karp as well. Listen, this is the early innings of what people are calling the reinvention era of Walgreens. You have your strategic business review next month. But pharmacy does seem to be kind of a core pillar of that. In our world, it's a world that Amazon is increasingly moving into. Just explain the strategy, the early stages of it for pharmacy for our audience.
Sure. So I think what you've got to look at to understand our pharmacy strategy is what are the possibilities and the things today that we're doing in the back of our stores. So it's more than just delivering acute meds to folks when they need them because they've got a short-term problem. It's more than just filling long-term maintenance medications and either mailing it to the patient or having them come in and pick it up. It's more than vaccines even. Now we're doing test and treat. We're doing some other things, not to mention some workflow changes that just free up pharmacists' time so they can consult with patients.
Tim.
And I think that's the big difference when I look at
Tim,
the other players. Yes.
Tim, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Tim Wentworth, Walgreens Boots Alliance CEO.